But people deem this industry as like not cool or nerdy, and like it's only a certain type of person that's in this field. So it's not even something that anybody thinks about.
What's up, y'all? My name is Alan Sheriff, aka Alan the Sheriff of all things innovative, and this is the ATS Podcast. Here on the ATS Podcast, we talk about all things science, technology, and psychology related, and it's my hope that I'm making the world a better place, one new episode at a time. Let's get into it. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me again on another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about preparing the youth for the world of STEM. And I have another special guest with me today on the podcast. She is not only a public speaker and an account executive, but she's also the author of Sasha Savvy Loves to Code and Sasha Savvy Starts It Up. But she's also passionate about the intersection of marketing, branding, and STEM. So everyone, please join me in welcoming Sasha Alston. How you doing today, Sasha?
Hi, I'm good. I'm so excited to be on this podcast today.
Awesome. I'm excited too. Yeah, it's been a long time since we talked to each other. I mean, I remember seeing you for the first time at Montgomery College in the investment club, and it'll just be nice to get your perspective, on a whole bunch of things. Since it's pretty much felt like years. So yeah, it'd just be great to get a world wealth full of knowledge of what you have coming at us, and hopefully this would be an awesome episode.
Absolutely, I'm sure it will be.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and dig right into it. So basically, I just right off the bat, I want to say I love your work with what you're doing and encouraging the youth and young Black women especially to get interested in coding and STEM in general. And I was just wondering real quick, like what was your inspiration behind that? Because, I see a lot of people nowadays talking about the lack of, representation of women in STEM, particularly Black women especially as well, and just the Black community in general. People talk about how, it's not right that, you have certain individuals teaching people the wrong way, or you might have certain people who aren't learning correctly, particularly young students who might not have the resources that other individuals had growing up. And so my question to you is, what was your particular inspiration? What kind of got you into, this space of trying to encourage the youth?
Yeah, so I attended a STEM-based high school in DC called McKinley Technology High School, and that's where I kind of got introduced to technology. And so honestly, there wasn't like a true reason why I chose this track. Because at this school, you had to choose between technology, engineering, biotechnology, and mass media. And so I just felt like, I do have all of these electronics. Let me try to go into the tech sector, just because I would be able to fix things and things like that. So I was just more so thinking about the networking side of it. But as I started to be in the class, it did become interesting, but I didn't think that it was something that I wanted to do as a career. And I feel like that was mainly because it wasn't properly explained to us, what you can do with this. It was more so just teaching us this class, like it's math or English. They didn't really go into what kind of career path that you can have in Photoshop or in 3D animation or computer science. Because there was 3 different options that you can go into. And I was in all of those 3 classes. And so I just, even though I did go to an all Black school, there weren't a lot of girls that were in my classes. The girls typically went into biotechnology and mass media. And so I just continued to see that there was a lack of girls. And then as I started to kind of venture out and go to different after school programs and different things in my community, I just saw that there was a lack of people of color in these spaces as well. And so once I had my internship at Microsoft, this was the summer before my senior year of high school. I was at that point, that's when I was able to really see the things that you can do with this. So I was a marketing manager for a team of 5. There was a project manager, 2 gaming developers, and a game designer. And so they were really able to explain what you can do in tech, how it can relate to other industries like marketing, or you wanting to go into graphic design. There was just a lot of different, they explained a lot of different things that you can do within this space. And they had various people coming in to kind of talk about their careers. So at that point, I decided that I wanted to major in computer science and then minor in marketing. And so I definitely always say that experience definitely kind of put me on this path, because before then I didn't really know. I know I wanted to be in business, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So that kind of
Mm.
like gave me a sense of like, it gave me an idea of, what kind of path I wanted to follow.
Kind of leading up to that point where you got into that technology school, were there any sorts of, did you feel like you had a knack for anything in particular that might have kind of helped incline you into that path in some type of way that kind of helped divert your attention there? Or was it kind of like parents were saying, oh, you got to go here, you got to do this because this is what it takes to be successful type mindset?
Yeah, it was really just my mom saying that I needed to go to that school.
Mm,
And so at that time, I think there were a few other STEM-based schools, but that was like the main one that a lot of people went to for computer science and for STEM, but particularly technology. But while I was in high school, I had my own eBay business where I sold like used clothing or products. It was just like a lot of various things that I was selling. And that actually became very successful where I was like, I used to say to my mom that I was making money in my sleep because
mm,
every week I would end up waking up like at 4 or 5 in the morning and seeing, three people have purchased something. So like that was like really when I kind of got into the entrepreneurial side and realizing that I wanted to major in business. So that
mm.
was definitely before I decided to go into tech. Like my path was definitely business, but I didn't know um, what exactly I would be doing with business. And so at that school, you had to choose the track that you wanted to go into in ninth grade. And then in 10th grade, you actually started taking those classes.
Mm. No, I like it because it's like strategic thinking, right? Your family's essentially, you have a family of essential forward thinkers. So everyone's just like, okay, this is the future. This is where you got to get your hands dirty. This is exactly where you got to learn the foundational skills that'll help set
Yeah.
you up for success. So I definitely love and appreciate that. I definitely think that, if a lot of young individuals growing up had at least that in particular,
Mm-hmm.
it would definitely put us on a path to, being able to quickly put us in a position to earn a lot more, gain a lot more experience right off the bat so that we're not kind of left behind in this, okay, this is where I'm dabbling in and this is what I'm kind of passionate about, but it's outdated. And so there's not much I can really do in this space. Or, I mean, a different type of person will probably say, oh, well, you could dabble in that space and kind of make it your own thing and see if you can make your own income off of it and stuff like that. But essentially forward thinking, that's definitely the mission. So I definitely love and appreciate that. So just based off what you've seen so far, would you say that there has been a growing interest in STEM in general when it comes to not only people in general, but the Black community? Maybe kind of exercise your thoughts a little bit there and just see what you think.
Yeah, I think I've seen a huge group of people become interested in STEM since I've joined because, not joined, but just like since I've been in this space because I graduated from high school in 2015. Um, but once I feel like, people knew about STEM, but they didn't really get a sense of like what it was or like what you can like which you can actually do with it. And so I feel
Facts.
like
Yeah.
maybe 2018, 2019, I saw a lot of people in that space who are like in these different industries. So like I've seen like people in the fashion industry or um, banking, just like a lot of different industries and seeing how you can tie in technology into it based off of whatever your passion is. And so I feel like that was mainly because like there's a hashtag called Black Tech Twitter that I was kind of like following and just like really me getting into wanting to meet other people that look like me in the tech space.
Mm.
But I'm not sure if it's really because I'm in tech, so I'm like actively seeking these people out, or if this is something that is becoming a really big thing. Because I don't know
Yeah.
if my friend that's not in tech, like, is she saying the same things that I'm saying about like all these women that are talking about, they just passed their IGEL test or like they've done all these amazing things. I don't know if it's gotten to like a huge level, but just within like my social media, just like the people that I know within my network, I've seen a lot of people in the space. And so it's definitely been inspiring because like I said, when it was more so like when I was in college, the early stages of college, like nobody was really talking about it. So like I didn't feel like I had people that I could really talk to or connect with as much. And so, I would join different clubs or different programs to, get that sense of like community within the space, but it still was kind of challenging.
No, facts, 100%. It's like, depending on who you follow or what you interact with on social media, it definitely helps in a way kind of shape your circle and your sphere of influence, definitely. And that's something I see a lot with my social media too, is that I find myself finding more like black tech influencers and
Yeah.
individuals who are interested in science and tech. And it's like, this is literally nothing like how my previous timeline looked like. It was just all memes.
Yeah.
Because I'm someone who just loves to laugh. I just love seeing a lot of bunch of foolish, humorous stuff. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, now I'm just like, yeah, I'm feeling good right now. I'm seeing a lot of terms. I'm seeing a lot of difficult subjects. And so like I'm becoming a smarter man. Like,
Right.
but no,
Yeah.
it's
So
it's
like
just good.
I've seen so many like tech influencers and how they're able to tie in, their own interests. So if it's beauty or if it's fashion or like whatever the case may be, like I'm seeing more people that I can actually relate to in the space. So
Mm,
I do think, just as me going to like different schools and organizations, I'm seeing more kids interested in it. But like I said, I think it's more so because I'm in this space, but I don't like if I talk to someone else, they may not agree.
mm.
So, this is just like based off of my own experience.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So let's expand on what you said a little bit earlier about with going to school and seeing children be interested in STEM. How exactly can we start getting more and more of the youth get more interested in STEM? What would you see something like that happening?
I think, and so I will say that I have seen like a lot of initiatives. So like
Mm,
different companies like Olay or um, Nike and just like a lot of different national brands are trying to have like a STEM component or like a STEM initiative just to raise awareness. But I feel like it needs to be kind of more on like a national level.
mm-hmm,
So, because I think that that's the key thing. There's just like a lack of awareness. People are not really aware of what computer science is, coding, or just like what STEM is. I can ask somebody what is the acronym of STEM, stand for, and they may not know. So like I think there's just not like a huge um I think it's just like a lack of awareness for this industry. And I think it's mainly because, people deem or people use, I think now still, but people deem this industry as like not cool or nerdy and like it's only a certain type of person that's in this
mm,
field. So it's not even something that anybody thinks about. But that's why I like, that my network is filled with a lot of different people. So it's like it's no one size fits all. Like anybody can be in tech. And there's a lot of different things that you can do within the industry. Like you said, social media, graphic design. I even say that like, videographers, like there's a tech component in nearly like every industry. So if you're able to tie in what you want to do, then to that, then it works out. So like um at one point, like it was a student who was really into designing. So like he wanted to uh, basically create his own shoe. And so I think the teacher was able to find like some kind of coding course where it was like graphic design and you being able to develop like shoes and clothing and things like that. So it's just like really making them realize that like whatever you are passionate about or whatever um, kind of focus, whatever you want to kind of go into, you can still tie technology to that. But yeah, it's mainly a lack of awareness, and I feel like I'm only seeing these things because I'm in the industry. And
mm.
so, if we're able to, I don't necessarily have the answer. I don't know if like what can totally be done to kind of change that, but because I've seen like different celebrities, talk about it or post things in their social media or do different campaigns about it. So I really don't know like what can be done on a national level for it, but I think
Mm.
the main thing is just like people not really being aware of it or like having an interest in it because there's no like mentors or like I'm not mentors, but like no true role models that like really show us that this is something that we want to be. So for example, we know like Steve Jobs and like all of these like really big white males that are in the industry, but like the who are like the few role models for like tech? Like if I was able to talk to a kid, if I said, do you know someone in the tech industry or like something like that, like who would they be able to say? Like I don't think that it's like on a national level of like you having role models or people that they can look up to. So for me, I know that it's Bazoma St. John who um, currently works at Netflix, but she's previously been at Uber and a lot of different tech industries. But someone that is 7 years old may have no idea who she is. So like, I think it just needs to be just more so on the national level.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I was thinking about how I was kind of tongue tied between two different questions that I was going to ask you based off that because you emphasize the national level, and I'm also thinking about the global level. It's like there are these huge gaps between individuals who have access to technology in developing countries and people who don't have access to that technology. Well, actually, I'm sorry. No, developed countries, people who
Yeah.
have access to technology in developed countries, and in developing countries, people don't have access to it, or they do, but they may not understand how to use it or use it in a way that benefits them and their community. Which also goes into another question that I want to ask about creativity, because I think that it's extremely important, kind of building upon what you were saying earlier, to find ways in which people can get creative in the space, which will make it more fun for people. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So that's another way of kind of getting people more interested rather than just calling up this celebrity and being like, hey, we got like 20 grand for you on the table. All we need you to
Yeah.
do is talk about how coding is one of the greatest things you've ever seen in your life, and how the metaverse is going to take over. Probably get somebody like Idris
Yeah.
Elba,
Right.
probably do like a funny skit or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause
But
like,
nah,
mhm.
nah,
Like
go
I've
ahead, go ahead.
seen different campaigns. Like I believe it was like a campaign. So it wasn't necessarily tied to tech specifically, but it was more so just showing that girls can do whatever they want. And they had someone within the STEM industry as like one of the people um, that they were like showing that, you can be in this space. So I feel like more campaigns, more celebrities behind it that are actually involved, not like,
Uh-huh.
just donating 50,000 to an organization, like actually trying to be a part of the initiative and really have an interest in it. Um, and so, like what you said, as far as the creativity, that's definitely something that I try to, say when I go to different schools. Cause like, you can be, and this is like way like, major, but like you can be a Dolce and Gabbana
Mm-hmm.
and be in the tech, uh, be in like the tech department. Cause how I try to say is like, there's a tech department in every industry. So like cause I know like a lot of young girls are like into fashion and beauty and stuff like that. So like there's so many, different companies that like have need an information technology specialist or like need those different kind of people in the tech industry. So like just being able to tie those two together would definitely make you very valuable because like you'll have that knowledge as far as like whatever your passion is, whether it's beauty, whatever the case may be, and then also that tech component as well. And so I feel like there's just like a lack of awareness, a lack of resources about like how you can do these things, and then a lack of support too. So if there is a child that does have an interest in it, but the parent has no idea what it is, like how are they going to be able to really like it's still, I'll say it is still possible if the parent may not really know or have all the tools, but it could be a little more challenging because,
Mm-hmm.
they may have that interest in it, but they don't have any classes to take at school. Or, the courses that they take online, they may not have a computer. Like there's just like a lot of different
Exactly.
disparities. So um it's just a kind of like a hard thing to kind of like it's easy to get them interested, but I think it's a little challenging to keep their interest based off of the different issues that they may experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And we can't completely ignore the fact that it is a challenging space. It
Yeah.
can be a really challenging space. And even for someone like me who just simply love speaking on it. There are a lot of things about it that I don't even really know about it. Heck, I feel like I just found out what the STEM acronym even is this morning.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting there like, wait, what does this mean again? So I'm going through the letters
Yeah, yeah.
like, yeah, like S T
Yeah.
A B C D whatever. But nah, STEM, science, technology,
Yeah, yeah.
engineering, mathematics. But nah, I'm just sitting there like, yeah, I feel like if we can get more people to, like you said, with awareness, get more people to, especially the youth, to understand what exactly it is and what they can accomplish in this area, it'll definitely make things a lot easier, and it'll definitely help retain their interest. Let's go ahead and pivot back a little bit to your venture real quick. So Sasha Ariel Ventures. So talk to me a little bit about what the game plan is for like the next 10 years. What do you feel like, what do you want to be able to define in terms of your impact with what you're trying to accomplish with the venture?
Yeah, so just kind of going back to some of the things I mentioned as far as like lack of resources and lack of knowledge and awareness about it. I do think the first step before you even get into the tech space is kind of like you need to actually develop soft skills. And so with my high school experience, I graduated high school with 3 internships. And that was because we had like an internship coordinator within this the high school that would kind of like find internships for us and like really try to get different companies in the DC area to have us as interns. And so, you know, I I guess I always kind of had soft skills, and I think that was really from my mom or just like from family members because my mom is a writer. So like just being in those different spaces, I was able to develop that. But we would literally have like so within each company there was like a coordinator who was kind of like, facilitating and like running the entire program at the company. And then we, of course, had our bosses for like, whatever intern ship that we had. And so we would have calls or like meetings with her about like, people not wearing the correct attire, not having proper attire, or like, not being able to probably speak to their manager or not answering the phone properly, or just like a number of things. And so I feel like before you even go into this space where that can be deemed as challenging, you need to have like actual soft skills and like communication, as far as like communication skills, time management, prioritization, things like that. And so in the next few years, I would like to actually develop like either courses or just kind of like an interactive program for kids who are like interested in going into this space, to take on just like really developing those skills. Cause like, I think that's like a really huge issue. And I will say for just my experiences of when I was in high school, but also when I was just kind of doing research on it, they were saying that that's like the number one reason why a lot of people are not hiring millennials or Gen Zers, because, they don't have those actual soft skills, even though they know how to do the work. They may not know how to communicate as far as like emails and just like things like that. So I feel like that's something that I would actually want to develop, and then just kind of have it as a pipeline. So like, the first book, Sasha Savvy Loves to Code, is from 7 to 10-year-olds. The Sasha Savvy Starts is from 8 to 12. And then, so that's like elementary and middle school, and then high school. And I'll probably do a little bit of college, because I think there was like a few issues within the college space as well, of like not being prepared for internships, because I was a high school student who had internships, but that's not the norm at all. So I think, having these courses for high school and college students would really be great as they kind of navigate their way into the tech industry. And then maybe, after that, maybe I'll have like actual courses or things that you can take, or activities that you can take as far as like learning how to code. But I think, they need to have those basic skills first.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you, when you come back to the podcast, just let me know what the name of the website is.
Yeah.
We'll put it up somewhere right here, like a sponsorship. We'll put the logo right there. I'll come back and re-edit it and repost the podcast, the video version. But nah, I got you. Where can people find you?
So my Instagram and Twitter is I am Sasha Ariel. On Facebook, Sasha Ariel. And then I do have a website where you can purchase my products, which is sashaarielventures.us.
Wonderful. Awesome. Everybody, Sasha Alston, loved having her on the podcast today. Can't wait to see more and more of your work, and I wish you nothing but the greatest success in the future.
Thank you so much. It was great talking with you today.